Hi, in this video we will see how to pick up the device for IP-Kamera system. First, let's just take a look at what we need to come up with an IP-Kamera system. This is the IP-Kamera. You may need more than one multiple IP-Kamera in the scene. And you also need a recorder. The recorder will take the live feed from the camera and save to the hard drive. So you also need to install the hard drive. This is the hard drive, which is very similar as the one we use in the PC computer. Just you will need to know, even the hard drive is not installed in this box, you still can see the live video from the camera. Also, we are using the PoE Switch. So the PoE technology allows us to use single internet cable to send both power and data to the IP-Kamera. So there's no need for power source at the edge. Of course, if the power source is available, you also can using the power adapter just next to the camera. Also, this is the main router you may have at home. So both the switch and the recorder is attached to the main router. So we are able to see the live video remotely by using the mobile app or the PC computer. Alright, in the next section we are going to see each of these devices one by one. These three are the common IP-Kamera. The first one is the Dome-Kamera. There's infrared built-in, also the lens is motorized zoom. The second one is the Bullet-Kamera. It looks like the bullet. The name just comes from the shape of the housing. So what is different for these two? Usually we're using the Bullet-Kamera outdoors, but some people also prefer the Dome. Just one thing to remind, when you're using the Dome-Kamera outdoor, it's very important to keep the shape of the glasses clean. The reason is there's curve on the, you can see there's curve on the glasses. If it gets dirty, the light it's going to get reflection at night, especially when the infrared is turned on. So that's the reason why people prefer the bullet, because bullet, their surface is flat, so it's not going to get reflection, even it's get a little bit dirty. And this is the pan-tail zoom, because the camera can pan, tail, and zoom in, zoom out. That's the name come from. It's totally bigger than these two small ones. Usually the camera will be deployed outdoor to watch the large area, because it can zoom in, zoom out, and move to a different direction. That's about the shape. The other thing you need to consider is the megapixel. I mean the pixel of the camera. Of course, the higher the megapixel, the more clear the camera will be. Just one thing. Also, if you choose very high megapixel, you also need to consider the storage on the recorder. You see, the higher the megapixel, it will require more space to save the video. The one thing very important, let's just take a look at the picture. We can see the camera is watching the door, right? But if we take a deep look at both sides, the camera is taking something that's useless, because nobody is going to go through the left and right, also the top. So it's wasting the pixel to keeping something that's useless. Also, it will take more space from the hard drive. How to solve this problem? To solve this problem, you can take the remote focus camera, because the camera can zoom in and zoom out to get the best focus after you install a camera in the field. Alright, in the next section, we are going to see the recorder. These three are the network video recorder, also named NVR. The NVR will take the live video from the camera and save to the hard drive. When we choose the NVR, first we need to ask how many channels we want from the recorder. It also means you need to know how many cameras you are going to install in the field. It's always to reserve some additional channel for future use. When we talk about the channel of the recorder, we also need to know the maximum megapixel the recorder can take in. For example, this one can take 32 channel, 5 megapixel IP-Kamera. So if you choose the IP camera higher than 5 megapixels, like the 8 megapixel, the recorder cannot take in your camera because the recorder doesn't have enough resource to decode the video. The second thing is about the hard drive. The hard drive usually being sold separately. It will be the similar hard drive we use in the PC computer, but you should choose that kind of hard drive designed specifically for the IP surveillance, because the recorder is going to work 24/7, but for a PC computer, it will not working for 24/7. And this big one can take in 8 unit hard drive. The middle one can take in 2, and this one can take 1. You should also, I think you also want to know how many days the recorder can keep the video footage. So, like the 2 megapixel, one channel, usually you need 40 gigabytes for 1 day, 24 hours. So you can calculate how many channels you have and inventory how many days you want. That will give you the answer how many hard drive you should install into the network video recorder. Alright, in the next session, we'll see the linking between the recorder and the router and the camera and the router. The last part is about the power and the linking. The IP camera need power, the recorder also need the power. But it should be easier to deal with the power for the recorder because the recorder will be close to the AC outlet indoor. But for the camera outdoor, you need to have AC power close to the camera. So we can use this power adapter to convert the AC to DC low voltage. This is one of the solutions. But now, usually we don't use this kind of solution because it means we need to deal with the AC power next to the camera. The PoE technology can provide us the solution to using the single internet cable to send both power and data to the camera. We just need the single Ethernet cable. There's no need for AC power outlet. In order to supply the power, there's 2 kinds of solutions. The most common solution is using the PoE switch. These are the PoE switch. Like the regular switch, it also has the power, AC power, and will convert to the DC sending through the Ethernet cable. This is the A-port PoE, these 2 for uplink, one to connect to the recorder, the other to connect to the main router. This is the 16 channel, the bigger one also 16 channel. But the power budget, the power for each port is larger for the bigger one. Also, this is the manager PoE switch. The other solution is using the PoE NVR. You can see the switch has been integrated to this NVR, the motherboard. And what is the difference by using these 2? While we're using the PoE NVR, all the Ethernet cable need to wire back to the recorder. It could be simple, but actually, in my personal prefer, I would like to using the PoE switch. The reason is either the PoE part or the motherboard is damaged. I need to replace the recorder, which means all the settings will be gone. I need to start from the beginning to connect each of the camera, configure all the settings. And the other thing is because the cable need to run back to the recorder, which means if I would like to place this recorder somewhere next to the monitor, but now all the cable need to go back here. But instead, if I'm using the PoE switch, all the cable from the camera will return to the switch. From the switch, I just need one cable to connect to the recorder. So it provides me the flexibility. Also, because the switch, it can have stronger reliability like the surge protection. Even for this small one, it can pass 4K and 8K surge protection. But for the recorder, because it's integrated, so the reliability need to be compromised. But one thing I can argue is the cost will be lower by using the PoE NVR. And the last thing is about the cable, because the cable need to be taken to send the power to the camera. One thing to know is the PoE is limited to 100 meter. If you want to extend the PoE beyond 100 meter, you need to using the PoE extender. One PoE extender can provide additional 100 meter PoE network. While you're trying to send the power PoE for long distance, it's really important to use the cool copper cable, not the CC8, because there are always power loss during the transmission. If you're using the low quality Ethernet cable, the power loss will become very serious. Alright, that's all for this video. If you have any question, you can post in the comment section below. Have a nice day.